In Chinese, men means gate. Along the Yellow River, places with men in their names often mark important passes through the valley. Longmen, or Dragon Gate, is one such pass. It is significant in geology, history, and legend. Legend has it that Yu the Great opened the narrow Longmen Pass while controlling floods, giving it the alternate name Yumenkul, or Yu's Gate. His success in taming the waters led to his rise as the founder of China's first dynasty, the Xia. Chinese historical accounts often begin with this era. The person who recorded Yu's story as history, deeply influencing later generations, was also born in Longmen. I was born in Longmen. I tended fields and herded animals at the north of the Yellow River, the southern foot of Longmen Mountain. So wrote Sima Qian, the author of Records of the Grand Historian, China's first general history book. Longmen, nestled in Hancheng, Shanxi province, was Sima Qian's hometown. At 38, he began his life's work, a 520,000-character chronicle incorporating 3,000 years of Chinese history from the Yellow Emperor to 101 BC. The project took more than a decade to complete. His systematic record became the foundation of China's cultural memory for generations. In Sima Qian's account, the tale of Yu the Great, the legendary founder of the Xia dynasty, begins with the great floods of the Yellow River. The annals of Xia record, during the time of the Emperor Yao, floodwaters surged towards the heavens. This line foreshadows the challenge Yu would later face. Charged with taming the floods, Yu the Great was tormented by worry and dedicated himself entirely to the task. Sima Qian wrote that he lived outside his home for 13 years. Finally, he brought peace to the great river. Yu's triumph over the floods marked the return of order from chaos for China's early people. It is with this myth that Chinese history begins. No river has shaped a civilization as deeply as the Yellow River has shaped China. Since the dawn of the nation's history, the river has held a central place in Chinese culture. In the religious sacrificial ceremonies chapter of Records of the Grand Historian, Sima Qian asserted that the heartlands of the Xia, Shang, and Zhou dynasties all lay along the Yellow River and Luohe River. Which region was Sima Qian referring to? A glance at the map answers that question. Near Tongguan Pass, the Yellow River takes a sharp turn eastward. In this area, the Luohe River, originating in Shanxi, merges with the Yehe River to form the Yiluo River, which then joins the Yellow River. The phrase between the Yellow and Luohe rivers refers specifically to the Luoyang Basin and its surrounding areas, including western Henan and southern Shaanxi.
夏商周3代 早期视作为中国的地带，也应该是最初大家对中原的理解，就是今天河南省的西部，包括洛阳到嵩山这样一个地区。
Songshan Mountain is the eastern extension of the Qinling Mountains, marking the boundary between northern and southern China. It sits at the meeting point of the Luoyang Basin and the North China Plain, its eastern slope facing the plain, its western side overlooking the basin. Over the years, right across this region, archaeologists have unearthed traces of long-lost dynasties. Chiefly, the conclusion they have drawn from these excavations is that from the dawn of Chinese civilization to the Northern Song dynasty, this region remained the center of Chinese political and cultural life.
洛阳盆地并不大，但是在2000年的时间里边，有1500年以上的建都史，13个王朝在这儿建都，这在世界文明史上都是极为罕见的。
The Xiaoxiang lion dance is a national intangible cultural heritage. Not far from the performers, the Yiluo River flows into the Yellow River. Today, the land between the Yellow River and Luohe River is still full of life. The ancient and the modern living side by side. Everything has changed, yet, in a sense, it's as if nothing's changed at all. What makes this place so special? Why have people kept coming here generation after generation? Over 4,000 years ago, along the Yellow River and Yangtze River, diverse cultures emerged in river valleys across China, each developing its own way of life and methods of production.
在文明化的道路上发展，有的快一点，有的慢一点，有的早一点，有的晚一点。诸如此类，它是一个错综复杂的、此起彼伏的这么一个形式。
As cultures in various regions advanced towards civilization, the middle and lower reaches of Yellow River gradually stood out for its natural advantages. Here, the Yellow River carried sediment from the Loess Plateau, depositing it wherever the flow slowed. Over time, this shaped the area into a fertile land, characterized by dependable soil and water conditions.
早期的农业呢，主要还不在于产量，在于面积、农田，对吧？因为我们今天讲，它可以广种薄收。 所以土地是最重要的。我们测算一下，黄土高原加上华北平原的总面积，要超过北半球其他文明的土地，所以这个有利条件是人家其他地方所没有的。
Over 4,000 years ago, communities in the Yellow River Basin began planting crops with simple tools. In time, they started making sacred ritual vessels from clay and holding ceremonies along the riverbanks. Shaped by common conditions and practices, these communities were on their way to coalescing into a civilization.
早期的话，一个部落人不是很多，所以他们选的一块土地呢就够了。等到后来人口增加了，他们就不得不用迁移，那么去寻找新的土地、新的生存空间。
Around 3,900 years ago, a tribe settled in the Luoyang Basin and built a new home on the north bank of the ancient Yiluo River. This became the famous Erlitou site. In 1959, while searching for the ancient capital of the Qian dynasty, archaeologists discovered the Erlitou site at the confluence of the Yellow River and Yiluo River. While there are no written records confirming it as the Xia capital, the artifacts found here have been dated to a period corresponding to the time the Xia dynasty is believed to have existed.
而在文化出现之前，至少是有一段时间是没有人在这居住的，等于说是一群人突然出现在二头遗址这个范围，营建了都城。这些居民可能是来自于各个方向，有可能是不同来源的人共同参与了二头遗址的营建和统治。
For the early settlers who came to Erlitou from different regions, the Luoyang Basin, where the Yiluo River and Yellow River meet, was an ideal place to live. While the west offered mountains rich in resources, the east was a fertile alluvial plain, perfect for farming. North of the Yellow River, the Zhongtiao Mountains had copper deposits, and Yuncheng had salt ponds. The basin itself had many rivers and convenient transport routes. Most importantly, it was at the heart of the farming culture of the time. Situated in the Central Plains between key cultural regions of ancient China, this area was perfect for cultural exchange and innovation. It was the earliest urban settlement in East Asia, featuring a north-south axis, the first of its kind. Its grid-style avenues constitute the earliest main road system so far discovered in China. Around 3,800 years ago, Erlitou became the capital of China's first large centralized state. The artifacts unearthed at Erlitou offer a glimpse into the origins of Chinese civilization, with bronze ware standing out as particularly significant.
铜的生产要比石器的生产要复杂，它需要一个工业体系。这个体系可能就某种程度上就和农业生产就分开了。
简单说，它是需要一群人不同的工序，然后来完成的这样的一个铸铜的过程。怎么样采矿，对吧？怎么样运输，怎么样拿过来，对吧？这个非常复杂的一个链条，任何一个环节中断的啊，这个事儿就完不成了。在当时啊，是非常高精尖的技术，所以只有王家、国家才能够控制这样的一个手工业。
The bronze Zhou with rivet patterns is the earliest known bronze wine vessel in China, with a long spout for pouring. While other Bronze Age cultures used this valuable material mainly for tools, Erlitou craftsmen shaped it into ritual objects with little practical use. It's this feature that sets China's bronze civilization apart from that of others.
以中原为中心的华夏族群，他认为最重要的是处理人与人之间的关系，就处理自己和祖先之间的关系。所以他把外来的这个青铜冶铸技术然后呢这个加以改造。我们可以用礼器这个概念来界定中国青铜时代的造式。
The dragon also made a striking appearance at Erlitou site. Over 2,000 pieces of turquoise, each less than 1 centimeter wide, were reconstructed into the shape of a dragon. This reflected a fusion of dragon imagery from different cultures across the Central Plains. It also reflected an emerging sense of cultural identity that would later shape the great Chinese nation. While Erlitou was becoming a settlement, another group, the Shang, were herding cattle and migrating across the lower reach of Yellow River on the North China Plain. For them, the river posed even greater challenges.
那个时候的黄河进入华北平原，没有一条固定的河道。我们地理学界把这种情况叫做漫流，像扇子一样，多条河道，尤其是在洪水季节，在整个平原上可以说都是由黄河占主导地位了。那这突如其来的末顶之灾，任何一个时代，人类都不可以在这里居住。
Living with the force of the Yellow River, a migrating tribe like the Shang couldn't help but develop respect, even fear for it. Fortunately, the Yellow River carried sediment from the lowest plateau, spreading it across the plain and enriching the soil. To avoid floods, the early people built on high ground and slowly expanded into the flatlands. It was a long process of trial and error, repeated over generations. Flooding forced early settlers to leave their homes again and again. Along the Yellow River they wandered, displaced, always looking for a place to settle.
我们现在说惊叹古人怎么会选得那么准，其实他不选准的地方多了，不选准的，那么走不通啦，那怎么办呢？甚至出了危险，那么他回来另外选那些今天还能可以进行发掘看那些遗址，其实是先民无数次试错的结果。
In the annals of Yin, Sima Qian summed up the Shang's migration from the time of their ancestor Xie to that of their 14th leader Tang in a single sentence. From Xie to Tang, the capital moved 8 times. According to Sima Qian, after King Tang of the Shang dynasty overthrew the Xie, his people continued to migrate through the landscapes of the Yellow River and Luohe River, bringing their bronze-casting skills with them. Their journey lasted until the reign of King Pangung, who finally chose a permanent capital, Shang. The Yinxiu ruins mark the site of Shang. Just a few figures are enough to give us a sense of its sheer scale. The site spans about 36 square kilometers, with 53 large architectural foundations in the palace area alone. To date, archaeologists have uncovered 13 royal tombs and more than 2,500 sacrificial pits. At the heart of Yinxiu, a museum displays nearly 4,000 artifacts, offering a glimpse into the splendor of Shang over 3,000 years ago.
现在呢，我们来到了车马坑的遗迹厅。这个厅呢，是国内目前展示商代出土车马最多的一个厅。
At Yinxiu, 23 carriages were unearthed, including chariots, supply carts, and ceremonial vehicles. Though similar in appearance, they served distinct roles in both warfare and political life.
车马的这个制造，也体现出了我们商代手工业一个最高水平。它基本上像这个流水线一样，有的人专门做轮子，有的人专门做鱼，有的人专门做车辕，有的人呢是专门做铜铸造的车马器，最后呢还要组装，组装完了以后呢还要修漆，最后一辆新车拉出来。这个跟我们现在的这个汽车工业特别像，可以说是气势很宏大的一种文明形态。
An even more striking example of Shang sophistication can be seen in its bronze. When Yinxiu became the Shang capital, bronze making had reached new heights. More than half of their ceremonial vessels were used for wine. The Humuwu Ding is the largest bronze vessel ever found. Making it would have required the combined efforts of hundreds of craftsmen. This ox-shaped bronze vessel reflected something familiar in the lives of the Shang people.
它的原型呢，应该是当时生活在商朝一个水牛。这种水牛呢，到现在已经灭绝了，在动物学上命名为圣水牛。就是那个时候也是作为这个贵族们狩猎的一个对象，经常有甲骨卜辞里边记载怎么样追逐和猎杀这个驷，当时叫驷。但是呢，它呢因为不能被驯化。 所以说呢，商人呢就把他的形象做成了一个青铜的礼器。
China's earliest script, the oracle bone script, was also discovered at Yinxiu. Among more than 150,000 oracle bones found, over 4,500 characters have been identified, and more than 1,500 have been deciphered. On the oracle bones, the Shang referred to the Yellow River simply as the river. The word that later came to mean river in general originally referred only to the Yellow River.
为什么甲骨中的河就是黄河呢？不会是其他河呢？甲骨中的河涉及到了什么呢？它是讲到了去河的方位是在殷墟的东边，河东。
While the Yellow River now lies far southeast of Anyang, where Yinxiu is located, the Tribute of Yu in the Book of Documents records that over 3,000 years ago, it flowed northeast near today's Zhengzhou, past Anyang, and emptied into the sea near what is now Tianjin. Yinxiu, therefore, sat between the river and the Taihang Mountains.
自古太行山都很难翻越的。南边是黄河，东边也是黄河，这样的话，它形成了一个天然的一个屏障，就是它对于固守大本营是起到非常关键的一个作用。
Phrases like crossing to the east of the river, eastward to the river, and hunting east of the river appear on more than 500 oracle bones. With deep reverence, generations of Shang kings carved these inscriptions. In effect, they were prayers for the Yellow River's protection and blessings.
商代呢有一个说法就是，和节而商亡，所以商和河的关系是非常密切的，有很多是商王需要到河边去祭祀，所以这个呢也能从一方面来证明，就是河它起码是一个自然神。
For 273 years after King Pan Geng moved the capital to Yinsu by the Yellow River, 12 Shang kings ruled in succession. In the course of time, a new tribe emerged. Koma village lies at the end of the last gorge before the Yellow River enters the North China Plain. Here you can find a worn stele, a monument to a moment of violence that took place over 3,000 years ago. In January 1046 BC, the newly enthroned King Wu of Zhou crossed the Yellow River at Mengjin and readied himself for something that would earn him a place in history, overthrowing the Shang dynasty. According to Sima Qian's Annals of Zhou, King Wu led 300 chariots, 3,000 palace guards, and 45,000 armored soldiers eastward to confront the Shang king, who in turn dispatched 700,000 men to Muye. The stage was set for a decisive battle. Clad in battle armor, King Wu stood before his troops and swore an oath. "You have come a long way, people of the Westland. Order your poleaxes, line up your shields, dress your spears. I am going to lead you in an oath." Though the odds were stacked against them, the Zhou forces won. Dawn that morning in Muye was indeed a red one, as red as the blood of the Shang army that was about to be spilt. By the following sunrise, the Shang dynasty was no more. 554 years of history erased in a single day. Power in the Central Plains had shifted decisively. Tongguan is a key pass at the meeting point of Shanxi, Shanxi, and Henan. Here, the Weihe River flows into the Yellow River, which then makes a sharp eastward turn into the Central Plains. This powerful bend is not just a geographic wonder, it mirrors how quickly one dynasty can rise and another fall. The Zhou people rose in the Weihe River basin. Following the river east, King Wu passed through what is now Tongguan County and entered Mengjin, beginning his campaign to seize control of the Central Plains. The Weihe River flows into the Yellow River as the Zhou replaced the Shang. The river's powerful course through the Central Plains toward the sea echoes the sweeping shift in power that reshaped Chinese civilization. Qian was once home to Haojing, the Zhou capital. After toppling the Shang, King Wu returned, facing the challenge of ruling the vast territories along the Yellow River that had once been under Shang control. According to historical records, after returning, King Wu found himself unable to sleep. Accordingly, he summoned his brother, the Duke of Zhou, and shared his concerns. It is because heaven did not enjoy the yin's offerings. We now have our success. I have not yet secured heaven's protection. How could I find time to sleep? King Wu then told the Duke of Zhou that the land between the Yihe, Luohe, and Yellow Rivers, which had once been home to the Xia, was an ideal heavenly residence. From there, the Zhou's virtue could spread far and wide. From the Luohe River to the Yihe River, the land is easily settled. Here was the settlement of the Xia. Luoyang, once called Luoyi, became the capital King Wu had envisioned. More than 3,000 years ago, the Duke of Zhou was charged with building the eastern capital of Luoyi. As the records say, this is the center of the world. When people from the four quarters pay tribute, the distance will be equal for all of them. The Herzon bronze vessel preserves the story of Luoyi's founding. In 1038 BC, while the city was still under construction, King Cheng of Zhou addressed a clan member named He, who later inscribed a record of the event inside the vessel. It contains the phrase Zhaizi Zhongguo, meaning to build a capital in the center of the land. This is the earliest known written use of the term Zhongguo, or China. The Yellow River saw the rise and fall of the Xia, Shang, and Zhou. The memories of countless generations along its banks helped shape today's China. The Baoji Bronzeware Museum houses a rich collection of Zhou-era bronzes. Many late Shang bronzes continued in use during the early Western Zhou period. But starting with the Zhou dynasty, wine vessels such as the Gu, Jue, and Jia gradually lost their central role. In their place, food vessels like the Ding and Gui gained prominence, becoming integral to the Zhou ritual system.
礼器的变化，那就是周人把自己的文化也融入到这个中原的礼乐化体系里，也带动了中原的礼乐化体系的变化。中原文化变化也不是，它不是排斥的，它在影响周围的同时，周围的很多的区域文化也在把自己的文化因素带入到中原文化啊，来不断的丰富发展中原的这样一个文化传统或者文化主流。
The Zhou inherited and expanded the symbolic role of bronze ritual vessels established in the Erlitou period. They used bronze wares to build a complex ritual and music system rooted in hierarchy and kinship. Bronze vessels became essential tools for expressing identity and upholding social order.
周之所以重视这个秩序，是和周的国家制度有关的。周人 从一个很小的国家一下子灭了商以后，控制了那么大的地方，它主要是靠着这套亲属制度来控制国家。这些控制不了的地方，它分封。
In early Western Zhou, the king granted land, people, and bronze vessels to lords based on kinship and merit. They brought the bronzes to their new fiefdoms, now functioning as individual states under Zhou authority.
不同的国有不同的自己的礼仪习俗制度，比如说这个把姜太公分封到齐，
所以我们现在都知道山东只叫齐鲁大地。大家原来去那个地方是东夷的地区，传统的中夷地区。
周围的已经有些小国了，他要管人家，那就是从其俗减其政。我并不是把我周人的那套东西强加到给你，来改造你。
无论是夷狄还是华夏，你接受礼乐文化这个认同，我们就认为你是这个华夏，你就是我们人。对文化的认同才是最重要的。
From the Zhou dynasty onward, regions once divided by different traditions were unified through shared ritual ceremonies. Ancestor worship became a common practice, and the states began to see themselves as one people with a shared history and identity. The Zhou's ritual and music culture spread widely across China's heartland. An influence keenly felt to this very day. In the crisp October air, descendants of Confucius in Yongjing County gather to prepare for a ceremony. This branch of Confucius's descendants once lived in Huizhou, Guangdong province, and later became known as the Lingnan branch. At the end of the southern Song dynasty, they migrated through several regions before settling in a riverside village in Yongjing, Gansu province. They have lived and thrived there for over 700 years. Today, this branch numbers over 30,000 people, living mainly in multi-ethnic regions such as Gansu province, Qinghai province, and Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. The ceremony begins with a ritual reading of a ceremonial text. In the courtyard of the Confucius Temple, people of different ethnic backgrounds gather to honor their shared ancestor, Confucius. Confucianism emerged during the Eastern Zhou period. Confucius once said, "I could describe the ceremonies of the Jia dynasty. I could describe the ceremonies of the Shang dynasty." Zhou had the advantage of viewing the two past dynasties. How complete and elegant are its regulations. I follow Zhou.
为中华人民共和国。中国很明显有一个大传统的一个传承，表现在物质文化上，就是叫以礼器为代表的，就是从阿里头文化奠定了礼器基础的这个青铜礼器啊和陶器的礼器的这个东西，到商代日益发达，到周代所谓治理作用很成熟的这种列鼎制度，都可以看到这样一个传承的过程。当然每个时代也把自己的特点这个融入到里面，既传承也有发展。孔子讲，历代都讲，唐朝很多人在讲，就是周边你只要接受了中原的礼乐文化，你就是华夏。
子曰：“学而时习之，不亦说乎？”子
This legacy has endured for over 2,000 years, anchored by a constant respect for those who came before. Confucianism was born and took root along the banks of the Yellow River. But it emerged during a time of turmoil when ritual and music were cast aside and war swept the land. It would be centuries before the state of Qin unified China by defeating the 6 rival states.
秦统一其中一个重要的内容就是统一货币。我们现在在这个展板上看见的，其中就是这个战国时期7个国家的货币，每一个国家的这种货币都不一样。韩、赵、魏3个国家流行的库币，之所以叫库币，就是因为它的形状像我们穿的这个裤子，刀一样的货币。这是主要在齐国和燕国流行的刀币。楚国流行的这种一笔钱，就像蚂蚁的鼻子一样。所以它是因形象而给它起了一个名字叫一笔钱，在楚国流行的这种金币。那么秦统一以后，就把所有的这个其他6国流行的货币全部代替成了半两钱。也就是说，从公元前221年开始，全国各地流行的货币只有半两，再没有其他6国的货币了。
In 221 BC, Yingzheng, king of Qin, declared himself China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. That same year, he launched sweeping reforms to solidify his rule over the unified empire.
秦统一，它其实是中国历史上的一件大事，这涉及到了文化，涉及到了思想，涉及到了这个经济，其实是社会发展的几个核心要素。那从统一本身来讲，我们都知道有几个内容：统一货币、统一文字、统一度量衡。从原来的分封制变成了中央集权制、郡县制，是吧？这其实是对于社会发展来说，尤其是作为我们中华文明连绵不断，我觉得统一是发挥了非常重要的作用。
These clay seals have preserved details of Qin's unification for over 2,000 years.
封泥它是一种，官文书，传递中间的一个保密的形式，就像我们今天用签封，火车的车厢拉上门以后，它打个签封，有日期，有这货运员，就是这个签封没打开，证明里边的货物是完好的。古代的那个文书传递呢，也是这样，信封外边用一个封泥盖上印，这个印没被取掉，那么这个里边的文书是没有人破坏，也没有人偷看。
Minister of Justice, Lesser Treasurer, Administrator of Lushan Palace. These seals reflect Qin's 3 lords and 9 ministers system, as well as its prefecture county administration. Nearly all official titles in the Qin government have been found on these clay seals. This Qin clay seal reads Official of Dizhu. As Dizhu was a location along the Yellow River, the title may have involved responsibilities connected to the river.
因为砥柱这个名称呢，它是黄河中间的一个地貌特点，那么砥柱的管理应当是和漕运有关系的。
This rock marks the peak of Dizhu, most of which is now underwater following the Sanmenxia project. Back in the Qin dynasty, Dizhu stood alongside other stone outcrops in the surging Yellow River. Dizhu is located in Sanmenxia, an age-old transport hub linking eastern and western China. From here, goods could travel west along the Yellow River and its tributary, the Weihe River, into the Guangzhong Plain, where Qin's capital, Xianyang, was located. To the east, the route led to the Yiluo region and the fertile North China Plain. The discovery of the official of Dichu seal offers new insights into the history of water transport along the Yellow River.
我们以前都知道汉代，漕运的发达，漕运的重要。但是这个砥柱成印呢，它是一个秦的风靡，它使我们的认识可以提前。秦代，很可能就是秦统一之后，已经有了这条漕运路线，就是已经开始了通过黄河漕运，再通过渭河满足咸阳的需要。
This small clay ceiling is evidence that over more than 2,000 years, the Yellow River gradually became a vital lifeline linking eastern and western China. Many core aspects of Chinese civilization emerged along the Yellow River. Oracle bone script, bronze ritual vessels, early centralized governance, and the rise of Confucian thought.
子曰：“学而不思则罔。”
All of these elements help shape China into what it is today. In this respect, the Yellow River is so much more than just a geographical feature. It's the source, the fount of the country's culture. Through this great river, people, regardless of origin or location, have come together to carry on the legacy of Chinese civilization.
"黄河水向东流，清澈的童年，几万里的春秋，故乡的图案没尽头。曾经的少年慢慢走。